Hello everybody, welcome to another video and welcome to a desk tour. Now this is going to be the last desk tour that I ever record, so yeah, it's kind of got me in this nostalgic mood, and looking back to 2011 to now to see how far this setup has come is just a crazy kind of feeling. So yeah, in the last couple of months, if you watched the renovating my desk setup video on the second channel from back in the summer, then you'll know that I've been putting a bit of money into this setup, not necessarily to overhaul it. As you can see, it's very similar layout wise to how it was last year, but it's just I kind of put money into refining it and making it absolutely 100% perfect for me. So yeah, let's show you around. So starting off on the right hand side then, and as you can see, the big massive red shelving unit has disappeared. I basically just came to the conclusion that it was big, bulky, and it wasn't really functioning as anything useful. It was only a shelving unit, so I couldn't chuck anything out the way hidden like I can do in that cupboard. And it was just massive for quite a narrow room. This is a pretty narrow room. It was just really big and bulky, and it just blocked a lot of the light that came in through the window, and it just wasn't a very good use of space. So starting off on the top, you can see I now have a softbox mounted really properly now. As you can see, it's on a little J mount on the wall. And yeah, if you remember, it was basically just lent on one of the shelving unit shelves. It was just kind of a makeshift solution. And yeah, that is a much more elegant way to do it. And although, yes, I am stopping the whole video recording thing at the end of the year, this thing has been immensely useful in just any sort of everyday circumstances. Any kind of situation where I need light bouncing on the desk, it's like having a sun that you can just turn on 24/7. It's really incredibly useful, and it just looks awesome up there. When it's turned on, it just looks like a floating ball of light. And then moving down, you can see a new addition to the setup. Now this is something that I have wanted for a very long time, and I've just never really decided to spend the money on it, because it's not only the turntable itself, it's also getting started with a few records. So I finally bit the bullet, bought myself a record player, and I am absolutely chuffed with it, guys. I'm of the generation of CDs, and now of course MP3s and downloads have taken over, so it's really, I'm a massive fan of my music, as you know, and although I enjoy just playing all of my library is on MP3 at this point in time, I still enjoy having something physical to hold on to, and I just don't see the point in having a CD. So having the MP3 in my iTunes library and then having a record is just the best of both worlds. And I think that whole reasoning is why vinyl has seen a sort of resurgence in the last few years. At the moment, we've got Highly Suspect, Mr. Asylum on. Very underrated band, guys. If you're into your rock music, then I totally recommend you go check them out. They are absolutely insanely awesome. And yeah, this is basically all hooked up to my new surround sound system. Or, well, kind of surround sound system. It's a 4.1 system. It's the Logitech G51, and it is absolutely monstrous, guys. It is ridiculously powerful. I have two inputs in the back of the subwoofer, so it basically, I have front stereo feeding from the turntable, so it comes out of those two speakers, and then for my Hackintosh it's plugged into all four speakers, so I can choose to have basically surround sound, just front channel stereo, or dual stereo. So it's a really nice little setup. That's basically how I control everything on that little knob by there. And yeah, it's just worked out really nicely, this whole audio setup. It's quite simple, it's nothing crazy, but for me it's just pretty much perfect. It allows me to do absolutely everything I want to do, and yeah, I just love it to bits. Coming down a row then, and this is my box shelf. Now this is significantly cut down on compared to the last time you saw it, but in my opinion it is a lot neater. I'm a geek, so I cannot do without having a box shelf somewhere on my setup, and yeah, I've just kind of stripped everything back to the more smaller stuff, and I think it looks pretty awesome. We've just got headphones, eyesight, a couple of iPhone boxes, Nexus 6, Mode 360, sunglasses, a couple of copies of OS X there, the camera box is hiding behind that, a MacBook Air box. You haven't seen that unboxing yet, that will be on the second channel in the coming weeks. And here is one of my most prized possessions. If you follow me on the second channel, then you'll know that I went to see Dave Gilmour play live in the Roman Amphitheatre in Pompeii in July. It was just one of, if not the best experience of my life so far. And yeah, I've basically just framed the poster and my ticket there, so that is something that I take great care of. Moving downwards again then, and this is basically the record and camera stuff shelf. This is my little record rack. This is my very small record collection. It's obviously in its infancy at the moment, but I'm aiming to pick up a new record every single week, and that's what I've been doing so far. That is a first pressing of Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and I got that for an insanely good price, so I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with that. I got a couple of albums from artists that aren't that well known. I've got a Moody Blues album there, and here is Lynyrd Skynyrd Freebird, one of my favourite songs of all time. In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, and then a couple of records that are by more obscure artists that aren't exactly mainstream. And yeah, that's basically just where I keep all my lenses, SD cards, battery chargers, stuff like that. And in there is basically where I just chuck all my random paperwork. So that's the boring side out of the way. As boring as it might be, guys, I am really chuffed with how that side has just turned out. And in general, just how uniform the whole setup is now. I think it's just a much more... I've got my record player finally, and yeah, I just think it's a much better, cleaner use of space. But with that said, let's move on to what everyone is here to see. This is my main setup. Starting on the left-hand side, we've got my Xbox One controller for whenever I want to play games on my G5 Hackintosh. There I've got my Audio-Technica ATH M30Xs, that's what they are. They're a couple of clicks down from the infamous M50Xs, but they are still incredible headphones. For the price, I just could not have gone wrong. They are so comfortable. They've got a really nice neutral sound, which is something that you don't really get with a lot of headphones in this price range. I love Audio-Technica for that. They have a very neutral kind of stance on sound, which for the stuff that I listen to is absolutely perfect. And there I've just got earpods whenever I want to listen to music or whatever on my iPhone, and basically essential cables, micro USB, mini USB, and Lightning. Here is my Logitech Driving Force GT. I've shown you this many a time now, I think. It still works perfectly. It's still sat in this exact same spot, and yeah, I just love this wheel to bits. I don't have a lot of time to use it anymore. I've only used it with this kick-ass monitor a couple of times, unfortunately, but it is absolutely incredible. A steering wheel with an ultra-wide monitor is just the perfect setup. Moving on to this guy. This is the ultimate PowerBook G4. This is my 17-inch, 1.67 GHz, 2 gigs of DDR2 SD RAM, 1680 by 1050, 128 megabyte ATM mobility radio, 9700 monster of a machine, and this is one of, if not my favourite laptop of all time. The display is just stunning. The design is just incredible. It's the best designed laptop of all time without a question, in my opinion. The connectivity is incredible, and that is very relevant with now the new MacBook Pros basically getting rid of anything useful. It's got one of, if not the best keyboards I've ever used in my life again. I love this keyboard to bits, and this laptop is just a joy to use, guys. And it is great. Although I've kind of got PowerPC on my setup, or on my main setup, I do have the EMac up there, of course. I'll go on to him later. Although I do have PowerPC on my setup, talking like spiritually, that is an Intel machine at the end of the day. So to have a proper, full-blooded PowerPC machine on my main setup is, in 2016 especially, is it's just a privilege. Moving across then, we have my SteelSeries WMO. I believe this is the 5th WMO that I have used on my setup at any given time. This is my favourite mouse, as I'm sure all of you know by now. It's my favourite mouse of all time. They're so reliable, they are so accurate, and yeah, just absolutely love those mice to bits. There is my Magic Keyboard. Now this is a relatively new addition. It goes over Bluetooth to my Hackintosh, and it is probably the best keyboard I've ever used. It has the butterfly switches that the new MacBooks have, but although I hate the new MacBook and MacBook Pro keyboards with the butterfly switches, this keyboard has so much more travel than those keyboards, and the switch itself, the mechanism of the butterfly switch is really great. It's just Apple doesn't put enough travel in their laptop keyboards. I recommend, if you do manage to get your hands on one of these guys, check it out. I have never ever been such a fast typer as I am on this keyboard. It's beautifully designed. There's no space wasted. It's just keys and keys and keys everywhere. And yeah, it's my favourite keyboard of all time. I am so quick on it. And yeah, that mouse, my favourite mouse of all time, and my favourite keyboard of all time, that is a pretty killer combination. Delaying the grand reveal of my main machine for even longer, this is my right channel G51 speaker, my pen tool case for just putting random crap, memory sticks and stuff like that, post-it notes. Under my monitor I have a little USB charger. That's 3 2-amp outputs, so basically anything I need can be charged off of that. That's really useful to have under there. Here we have my G51, as I think I mentioned earlier. Basically control knob. I can mute stuff, I can turn stuff up and down, I can change the amount of surroundness there is going to the rear channel. It's a really powerful little device, and it just looks absolutely awesome, especially when it's on and you've got all the LEDs and stuff. It looks absolutely epic. And there is my Moto 360 charger. I'm not going to put it off any longer then, guys. This is my main machine and my main monitor. This is my PowerHack G5. This is an Intel Core i5-4570S 2.9 GHz quad-core processor, 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM, GTX 660. It's got 128 gig SSD. It's got 2 500 gig hard drives, and it is my baby. I released an entire series documenting the build of this computer. There'll be a card on screen now if you want to check it out. It is my baby. The PowerMac G5 is my favourite case design of all time, and I basically wanted at all costs to have this design on my setup again. If you look back to 2013 when I had my Mac Pro on this very desk, it's just it looks so beastly. The G5 case design, the G5 Mac Pro case design is just, it's a piece of art, and to be able to sit at this desk and look up and see that monster staring back at me every day is it's an absolute privilege. And it's hooked up to this guy. This is the LG 34UM65 monitor, 21:9 ultra wide beast of a thing. It is 2560 by 1080. I would love to have a 3440 by 1440 version one day, and curved if possible, but for now this is absolutely perfect. Editing video, playing games, watching films, it is just a breathtaking experience owning one of these monitors, and I will never ever be able to go back now to a standard 16:9 monitor. It is just a truly incredible experience, and I can safely say, after 5 years of doing this YouTube thing, this is by far the best desktop monitor and notebook setup I have ever had by a distance. It is just absolutely incredible, and just looking at it now, I wish you could see the smile on my face. I just absolutely adore everything about this setup. Moving above the main desk setup then, we have my iMac G3 Yum poster and my Grand Theft Auto 5 map. I love myself a bit of GTA 5, and that poster, it's been up for years now, and oh, it's just awesome. It's so colourful and sleek and elegant, and I just absolutely adore it. And yeah, although I know my way around GTA 5 pretty much like the back of my hand, it's still an awesome little map to have up there. And yeah, both framed, they look pretty damn awesome, and just kind of stand over myself when I'm sat at my desk. And last but not least then, we're moving up to the little, basically above my wardrobe. This is my little desk lamp. If I want to write whatever on my desk at any point, that's really, really useful. It's also really good for ambient light. If I just turn it on like that, it kind of bounces off the aluminium case and just, it gives a nice little aura of light, I guess. We've got a thesaurus and dictionary there, my Wi-Fi antenna, a few books. I got a couple of books on Formula 1, the Steve Jobs biography, and Heroes, what you call them? It's basically a comic. And there, a couple of little trinkets on there. That's where all my screws have been building up over the years. And last but not least, my EMac. Now, this is the first Mac that I unboxed on this channel. I believe this is the first Mac you saw on this channel, full stop. I unboxed it in November of 2011, and it is just, it's the only Mac that has survived this entire time. It still works perfectly, and it's just such an awesome looking computer. If you walk through this door and basically the first thing you see is that, and it just looks like something. It looks futuristic, it looks like something off a spaceship or something. It's just a really funky looking computer. It's just been amazing using this over the last 5 years. It's been up here now for about 3 of those years, I think, acting mainly as a jukebox. It's running Tiger, still works perfectly, and yeah, it's been a loyal servant over these 5 years. So I couldn't be happier with it. And that pretty much wraps her up, guys. This was my final desk tour. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. It's been an absolute privilege recording these, and just kind of, before I recorded this, I went back and looked over all of my old desk tours, and just to see how far it's came is just incredible. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.